The question is, should you let it go? Let's talk about that. But first, coffee. Hold on one second. Perfect. Perfect. Coffee jumpstarts my brain. Should you let it go? Stuff has been done to you. You feel like life isn't fair. We all have that. I spoke to you probably 6 times in the past year about this, about being decisive. One of the benefits of being decisive is that you get a chance to say no to things that are affecting you here and here. Should you let it go? The answer is yes. Is it going to change the situation? Maybe it's not going to change what happened. And it's not going to change the perception, your perception of what happened, whatever that bad thing was. But you are choosing not to let it have power over you. That's another level of decisiveness. Even though something has been done to you that's real, not in your head, it's not made up, it's not perceived. Something real was done to you that was bad, that was not favorable. And a sense of injustice is in your head. And if you have a lingering sense of injustice, then what happens is you start thinking about revenge and reveling in fantasies of revenge, of making the score even. You just want to, oh yeah, I'll show you. Whether it be done quietly or overtly. And then the next, I should say not level up, the level down is actually acting on those fantasies, doing something bad to even the score. And then what happens is you end up suffering from the results and the consequences of that thing. And now your life is really messed up. And you don't want that to happen, whether you're a man or a woman. Excuse me a second. So be decisive. Should you let it go? Yes, let it go. Does it mean you're weakening your opinion about something? Nope. Is it making your bad situation insignificant? No, because it was significant. It hurt you. Hurt is real. But you're deciding that it's no longer going to have power over you. One of the hardest things for me to learn was forgiveness. Hard. Oh my gosh. Forgiveness. How do you forgive people that hurt you? I mean, Jesus said to let it go. Forgive us our trespasses. I'm the Lord's Prayer for those of you that are Christian. For those of you who aren't, then tolerate this. But there is some wisdom to this. In the Lord's Prayer it says, forgive us our debts or trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Some versions say, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. I like trespasses, although I've prayed it both ways. How do you do that? I guess you have to look at your own trespassness. I guess in Christianity it might be called sinfulness. When you get a glimpse of some of your own evil and astrayness, it's no surprise that others have it as well. Because if it's just others that have it, then you're self-righteous and you're perfect, and you're not, because you've done things. There are people possibly in your life that you may have wronged somehow, some way, and they're thinking about evening the score. So I kind of like that idea of that forgiveness thing goes both ways. We forgive others because we've done some pretty bad things. Forgiveness is hard to do. I've heard people say, I can forgive, but I can't forget. That's a tough one, isn't it? It's hard to forget things. That's where decisiveness comes in. That's where the benefit of the Stoic lifestyle comes in, is that you don't let your emotions, you know what makes you keep something in the forefront of your mind or store that data? The lack of forgiveness and the lack of forgetfulness. It's so funny, there's times where I put hooks at my front door. I'll never forget one time I came in and I forgot to put my keys on a little table. And I had to go somewhere. And on that ring of keys was another ring of keys to get into the studio where I was. And I couldn't find it. It was driving me nuts. And if I didn't find them, there was no way I was going to get in, because the owner of the studio was over an hour away. And it was crazy. So I put up some hooks. So now when I walk in the door, and I learned from that one time, and I eventually did find my keys, but I learned from that one time, as soon as I walk in the door, hang up the keys. Do you guys do that? Do you have like a little key hook or a little bowl or something where you put your keys? So you don't forget. Little reminders of where things are. That's good for physical items, but what about emotional items? I'm going to hang up that hurt where I can easily find it and access it anytime I want. If I'm able to forget offenses done to me in the same way that I forget where I put my keys at times, I probably would have done much better in my life. I'm trying to think who said this one line. Mark Twain. Mark Twain said, I've suffered a great many catastrophes. Most of them never happened, which means they were here and not in life. A lot of the pain that we have, we cause in ourselves. A lot, not all of it. I'm not minimizing the wrongs that have been done to you. That was another video that I did where I said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You choose to suffer many times. And I'm not saying minimize your pain or your grief. I'm not saying that. You can't be a robot. Something to think about today, right? If you're carrying something. If you're carrying something that you no longer want to carry. Should you let it go? Yeah. The next level of success, the next level of accomplishment in your life. Here we are in 2018. Do you want to move further than you did in 2017? Then let it go. Have a good day.